going.
Okay. How's it going? It's Eric. I wanted to show you guys something today. We came back to Keene Lair to do some work on the front yard. Part of what we did was trim these trees, which we have 2 pear trees, 2 peach trees, and an apple tree, and I'm weaving them into a sort of living dome pergola. It looks beautiful when it's all in bloom. I'll show you in the spring. But when we trim these trees, we get an enormous amount of these long, flexible staves that come off the pear trees especially. If you're into weaving sticks, whether you're making like a wattle fence or even like woven wooden furniture or anything, pear is a really good tree to plant because every single year you're gonna get like hundreds of these little bitty staves. And these things, even when the tree goes dormant, they remain really, really flexible. And you don't need half of them. So I trim a ton of those things off, and they're really bendy and flexy and tough. So part of these little path dividers that we've been making, these little biomass mounds, the skeleton of them is made out of woven sticks and wooden material, almost like a woven stick berm. Now eventually these will get soil in them and leaves, and plants will start growing through them and on them, but right now they're just the sticks. And I wanted to show you how not only are these really easy to make and build with the sticks from your own front yard, every single stick in here came from this yard over the last 2 or 3 years, but they're really easy to add to because you're not so much weaving like traditionally, like braiding, so much as you're wrapping and then hooking the sticks. And it's all about creating and maintaining tension in the stick, and then the tension of each stick sort of twisting in itself holds the whole berm together and makes it really durable. I mean, eventually you can trip over these things and step on them and they don't come apart. So the way I started this was with bundles of sticks. There's another form that we made at Corey's house with logs, and I actually prefer the logs because all you have to do to start out is you just want mass. So if you look over here, you can see that there's like initially just a bundle of big, thick, heavy sticks. And then there's some shrubby, twiggy stuff just to kind of, I usually mash it up and then jam it in there and let it naturally expand. So it creates tension between the sticks and kind of fills in some of the empty space. But the real bread and butter of this thing is just these really flexible, thin pear tree branches. And then these little ones, which you can also use. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the small end first and push it under the main bundle, just completely under. And again, you can do this when you're starting out with a bundle of sticks. You can do it if you're starting out with logs. You could probably use rocks if you wanted to. Or you can use the same technique to add to the berm every year. So this berm is now a year old, or ish, somewhere close. So you stick that small end of the stick under the berm, which anchors it. And now we want to create tension. And I do that by partially bending the sticks, partially twisting the stick, and you'll know it in your hand. Don't create so much tension that you snap the end of the stick, but create enough tension that the stick gets tight and you get a little bit of spring in it. And now what I'm gonna do is wrap it around the bundle so that it crosses over the top, and then bend it a little bit so that I can fit the thick end of the stick under some of the existing logs and sticks. And then I'll push that through. And now the stick's been added, see? So it sticks in here, wraps over the top, and then tucks in underneath. Now all you do is just look for spots that need more mass. This is a little anemic. It doesn't have much holding this bundle of sticks together yet, so I'm gonna be adding more wrapping around that. Parts like this are pretty thick right now, so I'm probably just gonna add thinner sticks wrapped in and throughout this to kind of give it more aesthetic quality by filling in some of the gaps, but it's pretty durable. I mean, I could probably stand on this one. I don't want to break any of those sticks, but it's pretty solid. But this one over here needs to be filled out more, and a few of the others need to be beefed up. So let me show you what I do with the really short sticks. Even ones that you think might be too small to use, like these, right? So if I'm putting a stick like this in, that's really not going to provide any structure, but aesthetically speaking, it's going to fill in some space. So I'll put it in right here, and I'm just going to kind of feed both ends of it into the fray. And just make sure that it sits in there sort of tight. See, and it just adds to this overall mass. Now, if I had a free end, let's say that this stick broke while I was messing with it. And now I got a free end, and let's say that I couldn't tuck this in anywhere. Well, what I could do is lay it down, take another shorter stick, and weave under some of the existing sticks in here, and it's gonna hold the end of that stick down, and then I can just feed the ends of this one in, just make sure they're tucked in. Now the whole structure holds itself together like that, so no stick is too small. Even if you just have like a wood chip, right? This is eventually going to be a biomass mound that is catching leaves and soil and random detritus and growing plants. So you can just take that wood chip and just plug it in, just stick it in there. And especially if you have to create tension by, say, spreading some of these existing sticks apart and then shoving something new in there, that makes the overall structure tighter. So that's gonna make it stronger. So yeah, this is really whatever you want it to be. It's not hard. And it gives you something really productive to do with your sticks that ends up looking pretty cool.